so good. Two incredibly sexy men will rise for your auditory pleasure. Here's your hosts, Keeping Up with the GEEK Bros.
Yes, guys, this is Juancho. I'm with Darflex, Ross, Man, and we are the hosts of Keeping Up with the GEEK Bros, a family podcast. Allegedly. We're doing episode 113 today. It's been a long time since we've been doing recordings with a lot of things happening. So, yeah, you know, it is what it is at this point. But, hey, it's nice to see with all you guys again today. I don't know what's going on with the GEEK Bros. Know that we recently did drop a, was it the Mandalorian episode 1 review? So we did that, and yeah, that's pretty much all that has been going on. So it's been 2 weeks since we actually sat here and talked. Besides talking in our chat group, what's going on with you guys? Start with Man. What's going on, bro?
Let's see. Had a very interesting night last night. Yeah, Flex knows about that. It's really nothing else, just working, trying to get I'm like behind on Odyssey. I haven't been able to get too much in there, so my mission for Valhalla failed horribly. Oh, and I'm gonna send you guys a photo in the chat. My bastard son played a horrible prank on me.
That was a good prank.
Yeah. And that's how I know he's my son, because I love him to death. But I will kill him one day.
Oh.
Other than that, that's it. I got nothing new really going on. That's it.
All right, go ahead, Mr. Ross. Mia, what's going on with you, brother?
Nothing really out of the ordinary for this post-Rona world we got. I have been playing the hell out of my Series X and Valhalla. Sorry, man. It's really good. But man, I wish I had some exciting news to tell you. But I got a new treadmill standing desk that I'm using right now. So, you know,
Treadmill standing desk.
Yeah, it's actually pretty dope.
All right. And what's going on with you, Darflex?
Same, nothing really too out of the ordinary, just school. I'm getting ready to finish this semester, so I'm wrapping up all my projects and all my papers and stuff, and getting ready to turn them in and give my presentations, hopefully this Wednesday. Other than that, yeah, I'm trying to catch up still with Origins, and then it's going to be Odyssey, and then eventually I'll get into Valhalla. By then, hopefully I'll have the Xbox Series X.
It still hasn't come in the mail, so you ordered it.
No. I thought so too, but no.
He's making you do a couple more shorts before you get it.
Yeah.
It happens, bro. With me, nothing interesting besides trying to figure out where I want to invest my to get my master's and degree and all that good stuff that's happening. And I was just watching the space launch of Crew 1 off in the Falcon 9 rocket. So that happened today successfully at 7:27 p.m. Eastern time, and they're en route to the space station. So it's nice to see spaceships kind of launch from the United States. It's a great feeling. So I'm happy to see that again. It's been a while. I know we had one recently the middle of the year during the crazy pandemic lockout thing. It's still happening, but still, it's nice to see that.
Did you show vibe?
He's not gonna care about it. I don't want him to to shit on it, so I'll just leave it alone at that. But besides that, that's all. That's what's been happening. I know we've had a crazy week this week with the launches of the consoles. So with further ado, let's start up episode 113. But first, subscribe to our podcast is the right thing to do. You can listen to us on WeBeGeeksPC, the first place, and we're we're in all our listening apps, our radio, Spotify, I think Stitcher, and Apple Podcast. So yeah, that's where we'll be. So there's no Geek Bros approved movies this week. I mean, movie theater business has gone down the drain ever since the pandemic happened. Besides digital, I mean, there's a few movies here and there that keep showing on TV, but that's it about that. Video games out this week. I mean, I wish Vibe was here to just listen to the list that I'm about to read to y'all of games out this week. So let me get my composure because there's a lot of reading that I'm about to do. So Assassin's Creed Valhalla came out on November 10th. Borderlands 3, Bright Memory, Dead by Daylight, Destiny 2, Beyond the Light for Xbox Series X, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC. Devil May Cry 5 Special Edition for Xbox Series X and S. There are 5 for these. Everything that I'm about to read is Xbox Series X. There are 5 enlisted: Evergate, Fortnite, Forza Horizon 4, Fuser, Gears 5, Gears Tactics, and then Ghost Hunter for the Switch, Grounded for the Xbox Series S, King Obo, Lift Up. You know what? I'm just gonna break it to you guys and make it simpler. Every game that was on the Xbox One is on the Xbox Series X and S, and it's also gonna probably be on Game Pass. I am not reading this list of games.
Oh, thank God.
Because I just had you guys going. See, I got you guys going. Yeah, that's pretty much the only new things that's happening is Valhalla, Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, and that's and Watch Dogs Legion. That's the only 3 games recently, and Sackboy: A Big Venture, if I'm not,
Godfall.
and Godfall.
Wait, is the Call of Duty Cold War a Black Ops series?
Yes.
Yes.
Nice.
It's a
Did not
Black
know that.
series. Yeah.
Yes. So that's after that, and then the other ones that's sometime next week. So as we continue the trade going, the new Spider-Man is too short. So I was reading that the game itself, the Miles Morales game, it's really not as long as the first one. It feels like it's more like of an add-on. But and I bring this up because these games are going to be highly priced. So will you guys pay for a triple A game that is this short just for the graphics?
Hell no.
No, but it's not a AAA price.
I mean, all right, let's just look. So let me take that back. Will you pay for a game that is next gen, and it's going to be short? Will you spend money on that full price game?
Nope.
Yes.
Okay. Why? Why? Yes. Why play full price for a
Because I
game
can.
that's like only? Okay. I mean, yes, you're not wrong.
I mean, really, that's really my only answer is because I want to and I can. I honestly don't see another reasoning other than that.
So you'll
But
pay.
I can also see the
That was
reason
a
for
non-filling,
why.
non-response.
So you'll pay $60 for a full game that is only about 8 hours,
Again, it is $50.
or $50. Still, it's still a lot for a short game. That's just my opinion on that. So I don't
Yeah.
know. Yeah, that's it. I thought you guys would be more
Well, I mean,
interactive with that.
Well, I mean,
Oh,
so
no,
here's
listen.
I can see the argument for no, but my argument for yes, I think is quite valid, but it's also pretty relative.
Yeah. Anyway, so the answer I have is I don't really. $50 is a lot of money for a 8-hour game. They should have sold it for 20 or 30. But as long as people are permissive and continue to pay money for low amount of content, they're just going to keep doing it. This isn't new. This has been part of the industry for the last 15 years. Ever since DLC became the standard instead of expansions. It used to be you paid $30 and you got half as much content as the original game. Now you pay 85% of the original price and you get a tenth of the length of the original game. So is it fair? No, but that's where the games industry is going. Minimal input and effort, maximum profit.
Sony sucks.
I mean, it's that's pretty much.
Again, this would have been a $40 game, except Sony raised the price of their games to $70. So
True.
Sony sucks.
True. All right, so I know this is old news, but I still want to bring it up just because I know me and Lex are still have some little bit of heart for the World of Warcraft. Chris Metzen starts a tabletop gaming company, Warship Gaming. So he's come out of retirement and he's starting this endeavor with Mike Gilmartin, the former Blizzard vice president of quality assurance.
Mhm.
So it's nice to see these two come up with tabletop gaming. I know tabletop gaming has risen to a lot within the last 2 years with a lot of their cool games that community is coming up with. So I like to see what type of games Chris Metzen and Mike Martin will come out with, and excited to see what's going on with them. What's you guys on that take on having those two big names go into the tabletop gaming industry? No, you guys don't have no excitement for tabletop gaming.
No, there's enough.
There's enough.
I do agree with Roz. There is enough, but for those who like stuff that Chris Metzen did, I mean, I think that's great. I think his content was pretty good. I personally enjoyed it, and if there's another avenue to get it, even though it's not Warcraft, I mean, it's nice. But yes, there's plenty of tabletop games. So I mean, I guess it's just up to you to choose which ones you decide to play. But I mean, it's great. Why not? I applaud creativity.
Yeah,
There you go.
I agree. It's just unfortunately another tabletop game.
I mean, just true, but still, I think I'm excited to see what they come up with.
The time investment for tabletop games is just too much. That's the only problem.
That is very true.
Once you're playing one tabletop game, let's say Pathfinder or D&D, you don't have time for anything else.
Oh, for real. Me and Lewis spent I think almost a better part of 2 years playing one single werewolf story.
Yeah. Werewolf or vampire by itself, either one of those is a life investment.
Oh, that's it for
I
now.
got nothing to say. I've never played a tabletop game, so
What the fuck is wrong with you?
What? Not even one?
no. I mean, besides board games, but tabletop games.
No, man, we're not talking about Parcheesi.
But yeah.
All world.
I've gone to Lewis's house and I've watched him play D&D, but I mean, I never got into it. I never had an establishment of individuals that got me into it. So I can't.
Settlers of Catan? Nothing? No?
I'm not saying that I wouldn't be into it. So if you gentlemen would like to put something together,
For Christmas, I'm gonna send you
The Star Wars tabletops are game. The Star Wars tabletops are fun.
Yeah, they are. I'm gonna send you Munchkins for Christmas. That's what I'm gonna send you. Alrighty. As we continue, the Netflix Assassin's Creed live action, it's being developed. So that's pretty cool news. Krenik will serve as the executive producer of the Danielle Krenik and Jason Altman will be the executive producers for this new Netflix series that's coming, the Assassin's Creed. We had that movie already once, and it wasn't that good. So
I don't know.
I was gonna ask about that because I've been thinking about it, but unfortunately brought it up here. But what did you guys? I've only watched half of it. I kind of just fell asleep through it. But what did you guys think about the movie? The trailer, I felt like, oh, this is gonna be cool. But then I started watching. I'm like, what the?
Fell apart, right?
Yeah, and I'm like, all right, well, you know what? I am kind of sleepy, so.
I don't know. They tried to do the first game, and then they tried to make it into a movie, and then they just went off the rails really fast. I mean, they could have just made it a unique movie.
I'll remind you that Ubisoft also made a Prince of Persia movie that nobody remembers.
I do. I actually.
Oh wow! Yeah, with
Jake Gyllenhaal.
Jake
Really?
Gyllenhaal.
Yeah.
I mean,
So much potential too, man.
Exactly. So I have no faith whatsoever. If this news had been Netflix has a new Assassin's Creed anime being produced.
I was gonna ask that too.
Yes, I'd be 100% behind that. I think Assassin's Creed totally lends itself to, a serialized animated feature because it's easier to jump between timelines and jump in and out of the Animus and see different, I guess, world building that way.
they should
But
Castlevania that bitch.
So good.
I was gonna say blood of Zeus, but I can't deal with that.
No.
What would you think if it was CGI instead of animated? Like how
Really hard to
how
pull off.
Resident Evil has done their movies.
it's really hard to pull off good CGI.
It's been a
That
kind
is
of
cost effective. You know, the Resident Evil movies don't make them any money. That's why you notice they kind of stopped making them.
That's true.
And the CGI animated series that Netflix has been making it's just really bad. Like what is it? The Dragon Knight or something like that, or
Dragonheart? Is it Dragonheart or Dragon?
I don't remember. It doesn't
Dragon-
matter.
I know. We're talking
Dragon
Netflix
Dogma.
invested a substantial amount of money.
Dragon
Yeah, I think
Dogma. There we go.
CGI one would be good, but just give it to the guys that made Castlevania. That's all That's what.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be great.
Castlevania
I
the
would-
shit
I would
out of it. That's it.
love it.
Just give them everything. Just keep giving them shit.
Alrighty.
Dragon's Dogma was horrible. I couldn't believe it.
Oof, that was bad. That's what I was talking
started-
about. Thank you.
Yeah, it started off good, and I was like, "Why? Why did you do that?"
So as we continue the trend of the anime and Netflix, so the next thing I wanted to talk about was how anime has been growing in the eastern part of the world. Most likely, more to focus more on the United States. It's been expanding more than it was for a couple of years ago. From what I remember, it was just very small. Now it's like booming. Netflix, I know, recently bought a whole bunch of studios in Japan and Korea. They bought, if I remember correctly, they're the ones who have created the Altered Carbon series, Dragon's Dogma, Springland, Vampire in the Garden, and Super Crooks. So why do I bring that up? Because not only that Netflix bought those studios, Sony bought Crunchyroll for almost $1 billion. To be exact, $957 million. That means Sony now owns Crunchyroll and Funimation all in the same household.
Mhm.
What's going to happen to the anime industry with having two big companies under the same roof? I don't know. It can be a good thing and it can be a bad thing. We can go both ways on that. But they're also gearing up.
Give me the good way. I want to hear that justification. I'm
The-
intrigued.
Dragon Ball Evolution.
There's hope there.
To have Crunchyroll and Funimation together, it's something that I liked originally, and I feel that having them both in the same house again, it's good. It's good for where we really are.
Be watching. I mean, they've never been the same company. They just had a distribution agreement.
Well, now they can just finally merge and just do their whole thing that they do. Now with that, the bad thing is that they can monopolize the anime industry to the point that little studios will not really survive on these things unless the public and the consumer actually backs them, such as Kickstarter. And at that time, the people are not going to be making the money from Kickstarter. So I'm thinking they're gearing up for Netflix. By Netflix pushing this in, even though Netflix hasn't really come out with anything decent besides Castlevania for the past I think quarters or so, I haven't seen anything good Netflix has come out with. I don't know what you guys thought about. I don't know if you guys watch anime as I do. Any feedback on that? No.
I mean, remember this is Sony buying Crunchyroll, which isn't so much a producer of anime, but a distribution company. Same thing as Funimation. So it's not like they're monopolizing the production side of anime. What they're monopolizing is the distribution side of anime. Because outside of Aniplex and a couple of other smaller animation studios, Sony doesn't really have a massive bank of animation.
But Crunchyroll,
But
some anime.
go ahead.
Isn't Crunchyroll producing some anime such as
What
The
Crunchyroll is doing is paying animation studios to produce shows for them.
Okay.
The same way that Netflix buys shows from other production companies to show on their distribution network. So what this really means is the monopoly is going to be Sony demanding what they want produced, because at the end of the day, they can say, hey, listen, outside of Japan, you got to talk to us to have any of your product, broadcast. So the bad side of it, is kind of myriad. There's everything from Sony demanding, higher dividends on their end for people licensing to them, or, them demanding specific shows no longer be produced because they're not going to carry them. The good side of it, I don't really see any benefit to the consumer outside of maybe Sony recombining both distribution companies, but they split up anyway in the first place because of the impending buyout. So it's kind of a wash for the consumer.
Now, would finally Netflix be able to get on the Greg gear and make something worth watching?
No.
You think so? I mean, they have potential. They have studios with good potential. They just have to actually be able to create something decent. I'm gonna give the most newest one, the Blood of Soup, to have potential, but the animation for me after the first couple minutes, it was beautiful. Don't get me wrong, but it's just the process of it. It felt like I was watching a still animation. The frame rate wasn't good. It wasn't. It didn't pick up after episode 1. I'm like, okay, let me get episode 2. It just didn't catch me on. The artwork was gorgeous, but I just don't feel like, I don't know what they're doing wrong. I think they're just trying to just get into the market just to get into it and just try to figure it out.
Well, remember, the Blood of Zeus was produced by Powerhouse Animation, which made Castlevania, they're a US-based production and animation studio. They're not actually an anime company. And the reason that thing looks so bad is because they had less than a tenth of the budget of Castlevania. So, I mean,
That's a shame.
Yeah, it had a minuscule budget.
But even then, even if you have a minuscule budget, I mean, I'm pretty sure they would have been able to come up with something shorter, less episodes, but better quality. They could have done that route. I just feel like they really missed the mark there with that. And it's not a good way to start when you're trying to compete against Sony's and Crunchyroll and Funimation. I mean, they already have back years of established content, and it's hard to compete with that. But at the same time, you have to be innovative. And I feel like Netflix at times,
I don't think they will be.
They don't bring it. They make it seem like it's a beautiful cake, but when you go inside of it, it's just styrofoam. It's a fake cake.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. But my point is, I don't think Netflix cares. I don't think that's a market they're really obsessed with.
Yeah,
they're trying to tap into it. So they're tapping into everything.
I think
which sucks.
Well, go ahead, Jake. Go ahead.
No, I was going to disagree with Rod. It sucks that they don't care because I mean, it's in my opinion, it's something that could be very valuable. I mean, if not for them, at the very least, for the viewers. But I guess fuck the viewers. But yeah, like this is something that I would love to sit at home and just watch hours and like right after my surgery. This would have been great. Unfortunately, I had already finished Castlevania, and I've been waiting for more to come out. But here we are.
Well, yeah. Hopefully they can get their act together, and
we'll see if He-Man's good.
I mean, yeah, we just gotta wait to see what's happening. So Ross, I know that you wanted to talk about the Square Enix report. 6.5 billion yen.
Oh yeah. That game that Man was obsessed with, the Avengers multiplayer extravaganza bonanza, which has lost 96% of their player base. Wow, that is one of the most precipitous drops I've ever seen in a multiplayer game. That's actually worse than Anthem. Do you guys remember Anthem?
Yeah,
remember that game?
It was hyped. It was like, let's do it.
Never played it.
Yeah, it's free on Game Pass now if you want to.
Yeah, no, I have it. Just never played it.
Yeah. In the backlog.
So Square Enix lost $62 million, which is about 6.5 billion yen. And I don't know if you guys know, but Square Enix is really, really aggressive when it comes to shuttering projects that aren't instantaneously profitable. They nearly canned the Tomb Raider trilogy because the first one didn't meet their sales expectations, even though it outsold Final Fantasy, I think it was 13 that came out at the time. Mm-hmm. It sold better than it, but they set impossible standards on sales figures. And one of the things they did is that they took Crystal Dynamics, which made the first 2 Tomb Raider games, and shunted them over to making this multiplayer, persistent Destiny-style Avengers game, which is completely outside of their wheelhouse, not that studio's forte, and they delivered a subpar product, and nobody wants to play it. It is unfun. The main story, like the actual campaign, is engaging and it's interesting, and it's fun for the 8 to 10 hours that it takes to play. But that's it. That's all that game has to speak of that's interesting. The rest of it is not, and the audience is speaking volumes to it. They're just shedding players. You can't even find co-op players online on PC anymore. It's almost impossible.
I remember they kept the reviews from that game from showing for people who already had it for a while. Right up before they released, I just saw the reviews just completely just go down the
Yeah,
drain.
the embargo was for day of release.
And as soon as I saw it, I'm like, okay, maybe we'll wait for a patch. Nothing. Nothing. And people were complaining. I mean, God, to put that much money on such a good potential of a game, now, the good thing of this is the DC makers of the I forgot the name of the game that they're coming up with. Suicide
Batman
Squad?
and his boys.
Is it Suicide Squad? The ones that the DC makers are making.
Yeah. I think it's Suicide Squad.
So they learn what to do and not what to do in this by this because
Have
the game,
they?
I mean, hopefully they will. They mustn't release.
Not with the movies.
But you bring something up and Flex and Man. I don't know if you guys have played any of these other games that I've been named, but this isn't the first looter shooter that has released. Destiny came before it. The Division came before it. Anthem came before it. There are other games in this genre that people have seen release, and they have seen how they have failed because they have screwed up on their initial releases, and they've had to be patched consistently. Destiny 1 and 2 both released with similar, gameplay, affecting problems that people just did not enjoy. And they finally got these games to a point where people, log in, play them, enjoy them. So it's not like this game existed in a vacuum. They had the ability to see other games go through their growing pains, and they did not apply any of that to this game. And I think that's ridiculous. I think in 2020 to release a looter shooter that is making the same mistakes that Destiny made back in 2016, 15 is absurd. You can't do that, and you can't get away with it, and they're paying the price.
The formula for these looter shooter games are very simple. I think the problem with these studios that may have is that they're trying to be innovative on the series to stand apart, and I think that's what's causing them to injure themselves when they're releasing games. Oh, we're going to try something new. If we would have stick to the same formula, they probably would have been better.
But this game didn't try anything new. That's the thing. It was rote. It was by the numbers, and it was by the numbers for a game that came out half a decade ago. And again, we see the results.
For these looter shooter games, and so we're still in this topic, do you think not to focus too much on graphics and just focus a little bit more on the gameplay? Because I know the Marvel Square Enix game, the graphics are they're great. They're great to look at. To just not dumb them down, but to reduce them, not to that extent, just so the game can be playable. Would you think that would make it better?
I don't think that's an issue, is it?
Yeah, no. Art and narrative, they don't really
fun
mingle that way.
But what about fun? And
What
this
I'm
is
saying is art. Go ahead, JJ.
No, I'm saying, like if it was an 8-bit game and it was good, I would enjoy it. I don't think it has anything to do with the art. It's just the content itself. For example, like you were mentioning earlier, games like Destiny. I bought Destiny a little bit later on, and as soon as I bought it, before even playing it, I invested a pretty good amount of money in all the DLC.
Same.
Played the game for I don't know, a day, never touched it again. I just immediately oh, fuck this. And then I got the Division to play with squeezy bits. I'm like, it's gonna be fun. Yeah, it's fun with friends, but as soon as that's over, never played that game again. Still have it, not even 10% complete with it. So it's not about the graphics. I think both games look great. And it's just the story. Not the story, but just the gameplay was too repetitive. The
gameplay loop.
So then,
it's like
hearing all you guys talk makes me feel that maybe just genre just to stop at Destiny and just. I know we've had a good run with the looter shooters, so then just stop the genre. Then let's just
Of
move on
course.
and just go straight into a good narrative story of Marvel Avengers, like the Marvel games that they have. But Marvel Ultimate Alliance, if I'm not mistaken, great game. Why couldn't it have been like that? I thought that was going to be like that. When I saw like
Because
Marvel Avengers, I thought, oh, great, a nice graphic game like Alliance. And then I get this, I'm
Oh,
like,
you thought Ultimate Alliance was good?
I
I
enjoyed the game.
mean,
I played on Switch.
it
I
was
don't know.
passable.
I enjoyed it. It's
Yeah,
enjoyable.
I mean, I played the first one with my son, and I just, he was younger, so obviously, and the only reason why I played it and we kept going was because as a young kid, he was like, "Yeah, let's play, let's play." Me, I was bored of it after the first like 5-10 minutes of it. I couldn't do it.
Well,
It wasn't
I-
a great. What's the game that it's based on? Help me out here, Flex. Those old school top down. You play as a fighter, wizard.
Lord of the Rings.
No,
No,
I can't remember.
Gauntlet Legends.
Gauntlet. Thank you. It was an okay Gauntlet clone, but like Marvel's Ultimate Avengers or Alliance 1 and 2 back on like the original Xbox
Mhm.
and PlayStation 2, those were much more enjoyable.
So I thought that game was gonna have the same dynamic, but I'm guessing it didn't. It was a looter shooter. I never really actually got into. I saw people stream it and just read it, but I never actually saw. I thought that's what it was, and it is what it is with that. I mean, we just hopefully the looter shooter genre will end after with this new
It won't.
generation game.
No, no,
It
no.
won't,
You know
because-
what?
Go ahead.
They should do what Warframe does. Put it out for
Yes.
free. Put it out for free.
Perfect.
Well, do you think?
Because that's the path to profitability. I mean,
Mhm.
it's not going to stop because they see the next step for looter shooters is going to be gacha, 100%.
Oof.
It's going to be loot boxes for the weapons you need to complete this or that. Because Electronic Arts, Square Enix, Ubisoft, the major players releasing looter shooters right now are going to look at the current most profitable, open world looter shooter. Do you know what that is? Genshin fucking Impact.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
I was just gonna say that weird game that just came out that everybody's playing.
Yeah, the anime titty, looter shooter.
Hooter?
Breath of the Wild clone. That thing made $100 million like on its launch month, which completely dwarfs what like Marvel's Avengers made. So they're going to have to pivot and reinvent themselves because, like you said, I think the looter shooter genre reached its nadir sometime
Fire
in
Team Dirty Bomb.
2018.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
What the fuck was?
I heard somebody about Dirty Sanchez.
Yeah, sorry.
Did we get
I was-
Zone Bomb?
I was thinking on the next topic to continue about money. Activision Blizzard made 1.2 billion from microtransactions in just 3 months.
To talk about that. That just goes into what we just talked about.
Yep.
Microtransactions are the future. I hope you guys enjoyed your run with feature complete games releasing on release date because this is probably going to be the last year where most games release that way.
Yeah,
Everything
fine.
moving forward is going to be the same way. Oh, hey, here's 30 to 40% of a game. The rest of it is going to be ensconced within this, secondary purchase for $30 or $40 with the rest of the story. I'll make a big complaint about that right now. Assassin's Creed
Origins.
fucking Odyssey and Origins, you needed
Origins.
to buy DLC to get the complete story. That to me is abhorrent. That is anathema to enjoyable,
Bullshit.
stories. DLC should contain, standalone information, standalone story events.
Yep.
Once you have to pay extra money to complete your game, that's just horrible to me.
You know
And
what
I feel
else
like
did
that's,
that?
Go ahead.
Did you play Castlevania? Was it Lords of Darkness? I think it is.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
Same thing. The
Absolutely.
transition between the first one and the second one, there was
You needed the DLC.
content. Yep.
If you
It
didn't
was-
have the DLC, you
you
didn't know
wouldn't
what
understand
happened.
what the hell was going on.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's you know, it's frustrating because I actually thought the Lords of Darkness series was amazing. That first game. The second one was really bad.
Yes, second one, horrible.
Wow, that was.
Did you play the one
bad.
for the DS?
Yes.
The Mirrors of Fate?
Yes.
Why was that even a game?
Anyway, Mercury Stream had gold with that first one, but then Konami jumped in and made them change the way the game's story went, and it went to shit. But anyway, we're digressing. Mm-hmm. But that's a really good example of a game that had DLC that shouldn't have been there. You know, a good way to do DLC is the way like Fallout or Bethesda games do. They have the main game, and then Skyrim will have a DLC. You know, Fallout will have a DLC, but that story is independent from the main game.
Yep.
You can skip it and not suffer anything. I can't do that with Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I actually started playing Valhalla without completing the Atlantis DLC, and I was lost because there is substantial story in the Atlantis DLC that picks up the moment Valhalla starts. So I had to go back and finish playing that.
Damn.
So my definition of DLC goes back to when I first got introduced to DLC content was with Oblivion on the Xbox 360.
Mm-hmm.
Horse armor? Horse armor? Is that what you're talking about there, Ben?
Yeah, I love the horse armor. And then I completed the story and I got the DLC, and the DLC just was an additional story.
Yeah. Shivering Isles was great.
And then they broke it up. And I thought that was going to be DLC. Now what DLC to me means is just an addition to the full game. By this point, you're going to end up paying $100 for that game instead of the regular $60.
Yep.
Because the content, the DLC that they're creating, it's just not a 10-hour, 8-hour. They're 20-hour, 30-hour full game.
Because DLC is now, these days, developed concurrently with the main game. It's not, oh, hey, we finished the game, it went gold, we shipped it out, now it's time to work on this, extra content. Like when Morrowind released back in 2001, Bethesda did the same thing. They released the Blood Moon DLC, like a year and a half after the original game came out, because it was independently developed. But now with these games, the DLC isn't developed after the main game is done. It's just developed with the main game. It used to be something that you could see and people would lose their shit over when Street Fighter 4 and 5 came out and they held back fighters that were on the disc and made you pay extra money for them. People lost their minds. But now games don't come on discs. Now you can't say, oh, hey, this character was here the whole time. Everything is downloaded. But whatever. Like I said, I'm digressing. Activision making that much money on DLC, on microtransactions, that's the future. We didn't even get DLC for Grand Theft Auto.
No.
Story, because all of it was going to microtransaction for the multiplayer. We're not going to get DLC storyline based for Red Dead Redemption for the same reason. Yep. Because Rockstar is making buku bucks just selling people shark cards and selling people freaking silver bullets. They don't care. Yeah.
So another company that seems to be caring for consumer, PlayStation, the future of the VR won't arrive in 2021. Oh. So I thought you wanted to touch bases on that, Ross, on the VR and the future of the VR with the PlayStation.
Have any of you guys spent any time with VR, like more than just like 5 minutes putting a headset on? Like, have you played VR games?
No.
I had one of the original Oculuses. It came with one of my Samsung Galaxy.
Is that plural? Is that how you pluralize that?
I play Oculus Microsoft Store. That first game. Okay. That's it. I did.
Flex, you said you did?
Yeah, but nothing crazy. It was just some weird Star Wars prototype that I did at Celebration back in Anaheim.
So I've spent a substantial amount of time with it. I've played a lot of the big VR games that are really good. Boneworks is amazing. Half-Life Alyx was really good. There are a lot of really interesting games in VR, and when it's implemented well, it is revolutionary. It is truly the future of gaming. However, it never hit it off as much as people wanted it to. And Sony, who was one of the, I guess you could say, the first to jump really head on into VR, is actually not supporting VR on the PlayStation 5, much to everyone's surprise, because PSVR was one of the best-selling VR headsets and VR kits in the entire market. It really pushed VR for the common person because VR already has a really high barrier of entry. Like on PC, if you want to play VR on a PC, you gotta spend at least $1,200 on a PC, and then another $300 to $900 on a headset, depending on how good it is. That's a lot of fucking money. It's almost $2,000.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Sony did the same thing for about $600, which is pretty good. Console plus headset, and you have a mediocre but serviceable VR experience. But it didn't sell enough for them, and it didn't light the world on fire. And Sony backing off on VR, I think, is, like I said earlier, the death knell for VR in the entire industry, because what VR game has released recently? That Star Wars Squadron is the answer for you guys. That's it.
Yeah.
And Star Wars Squadrons was a delayed game that was supposed to come out in the summer. So technically, we haven't really had any major VR releases, and I don't think we will, because the prices for the headsets is not going down. In fact, they're going up. And I think it's sad, because when it's done right, I think VR is amazing, and I wish you guys could have really spent some substantial time with a good VR headset and a good VR game. But I don't know. I don't think it's going to happen. I think we got to wait another 20 years.
I'm gonna play
before
devil's
VR
advocate on this. Just so we can continue this. Just because Sony is not going to back up in the consoles doesn't mean Oculus is not going to continue doing this thing in the PC world. I still see a lot of potential in the PC world with Oculus and doing its thing. I think there's going to be a lot more independent studios and a lot of other, maybe hopefully, of the big studios to back some games for this. I think at this point, even though VR can be fun and I do see some games that are potential, I think the thing might just be a gimmick at this point, and not something that is going to be that you're going to get. That's my take on it. It's just going to be another gimmick.
It's not going to hit off. Like I said, it missed its window. And I disagree. I don't think we're going to have major studios supporting it moving forward. And as far as independent studios making games, dude, there are literally VR games that come out every single day on Steam. There are thousands of VR games coming out on Steam. None of them sell like gangbusters. And if you don't have a killer app, because that's the thing you need for everything. Everything needs a killer app. What made Xbox what it is today? You guys know?
The Kinect?
Gamecast.
No. Fucking Halo.
Max Payne. Oh.
Halo released, everybody needed to get an Xbox. That was the killer app. If your hardware is new and unproven, if you're coming into an industry without any background, without 20 years of footwork, you need something to bring people to the table. And VR right now just never had it. There was never a game that people were clamoring to play. They were never saying, "Oh man, shit, did you play that new Half-Life game?" Nobody was saying that. Everybody was like, "Oh, hey, shit, did you play Beat Saber? That shit was pretty dope, right? Yeah, that was fun." That's it.
Well, there goes for that VR. Flush the toilet. So me personally, I did not purchase any of the new consoles. I know Flex has to continue doing some slave work before he gets a console. Man hasn't still gotten it, and Ross is the only one that I'm pretty sure has received both consoles. Yes, he did. Now, why am I bringing this up? Well, we're gonna start off with the expected problems. I don't know if some of the problems might have been resolved, maybe not, but I want to talk about the problems that were experienced on the launch program. We're gonna go from each device. We're gonna start with Sony. We're gonna start with Microsoft. This is the first link that I have up. There's problems with the Xbox Series S shutting down. I went into the log for Microsoft that keeps turning off itself. I went through 72 inquiries, 715 replies, and I don't see Microsoft yet have a reply to any of those concerns where it keeps shutting off 5 to 10 seconds into the game loading up. People are calling it the killer bug. I don't know if you're experiencing that, Ross. No? So maybe some issues there. The next thing is the Xbox controller desyncing and not pairing with console. Xbox Series X corrupt 4K display. Xbox Series X stranger noises, app issues, smart delivery and quick resume, something wrong with a 0x800-708 CA, headphone and jack and the chat audio mix, the backwards compatibility games not working on Series X. So those are the few problems that came out. I'm pretty sure at this point they will have corrected some of them. I know the one that is still out there that a lot of people are reporting is shutting down after 5 to 10 minutes after loading the game. So if anybody has any problem, I want to know if you guys have received anything from Microsoft. I'm just very intrigued of what they're telling you to do, or if there's a patch that came in to fix that problem. The PlayStation had the whole thing of transferring the games to the PS4 to the PS5, that you have to use a landline connecting each other to be able to transfer the games from your PS5 to PS4. That just the transfer was very slow and very, very, very slow. The other thing is the HDMI cable with your PS5 not really worked really well, and the turn off. Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's the only issues that I saw that they were reporting for the PS5. Now, Ross, you had both consoles.
You sure about considering
I
we
didn't,
had
I didn't see any other issues.
the console bricking, like ACG, one of the most prominent YouTubers, having his console completely brick after
there you go. So
data stream rebuild.
I didn't.
What about the one that Ross shared about the Xboxes catching on fire?
Yeah.
Well, for my friend,
Did you see that one or no?
Yeah, I saw it. No, it wasn't a problem, but it's just freaking people smoking and blowing air. That's what it was.
Blowing their vape smoke into their Xbox.
Garbanzo.
so with that being said, I mean, yes, consoles always have problems at the beginning. They usually get addressed. The other thing that I saw that was that ticked me off. I don't hate the hustle. I know we talked about this in the chat, but now that I have all you guys for here, I want to actually have a discussion. That is having people buy a high priced console on this day and age when you know you're guaranteed a console in a few months from now. Why spend that much money on a new release console and not just wait a little bit just to get the bugs out?
You mean people buying from scalpers?
Not Scalpers. Yeah, Scalpers in friends of upselling their games. I have somebody on Instagram selling a PlayStation 5 for $1,100.
Yeah, people scalping the hardware. Yeah.
When maybe 3 months from now, 4 months from now, you're going to get a whole new load of PlayStation 5s loaded up again.
That's why I'm waiting.
Mm-hmm. I don't understand why people do that. I think it's ridiculous. I think they're just absurdly impatient. This is not a finite product. It's not going to run out. They're just going to make more. But some people are incapable of waiting a month, a week. Shit, like I have friends already that have been able to go to Best Buy and Walmart and pick up a PlayStation 5 or an Xbox Series X. They're arriving, but you still have people that are able to sell a PlayStation 5 or an Xbox Series X for $1,000.
Yep. And I don't.
But you know what? That's market. That's the market.
Blind demand.
There's always a demand, so people will show up with a supply.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Now, the last thing I want to touch on before we go into Man side piece is: would you guys work for a company that will make you do a TikTok dance just for them to give you more hours of work? No, right?
Absolutely not.
So GameStop did it.
They can hold my nuts.
GameStop made a TikTok contest for employees where the price is more hours to work.
Wait.
Yeah. GameStop holds an annual conference for its employees.
I got to tell my son.
This event includes a rather unnerving TikTok challenge. Make the best dance video and your store can win the privilege of letting employees work for extra hours during Black Friday.
They should kill themselves.
I understand.
I think they're slowly going there.
But why will you put your employees through that? Just why? I mean, are you? I don't understand the knowledge behind that. I really
That's
don't.
Abuse.
Yeah, it kind of is. Literally, it is.
It's
exploitative and it's abusive. Yeah.
It's what is it? The Masked Singer or American Idol TikTok style? That's what we're going with right now.
I guess so.
Yeah, but the people under the mask are actually successful.
Exactly. That means stop doing it.
It
No,
sounds
I
like
think that's really sad.
it sounds that there was only meant to be a single winner. They would have received 2 Amazon Echo devices and a $100 gift card and a 10 additional labor hours for use during the week of Black Friday.
But it's not
you're-
worth the dignity.
Yeah, but these kids nowadays don't care about that right now.
You know what? That's true. That's true. Actually, yeah. Hey, good for them.
Man, I wouldn't even say dignity. I just think people, they need that money so bad.
I mean, yeah. I mean, GameStop itself is struggling, and I'm pretty sure this is what they're doing just to since we're struggling, we can't give everybody hours. How about everybody fight for it, like Hunger Games? Make me the best dance video, and I'll give you more hours to work with. Who's
Or
going to be?
they do
executed?
OnlyFans.
I mean, yeah. I mean,
Don't bring up your business in here, Flex. What's wrong with you?
I gotta hustle somehow, bro.
so speed pick, right? So yes, that's how I'm gonna end the day. You want to work for more hours? I want you guys to send me some TikTok dances, and then we'll talk about it. All right, Mr. Man, tell me what's going on with Johnny Depp and
All right.
continue of allegations.
So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Man Side Piece. Johnny Depp exits the Fantastic Beasts franchise following allegations with his ex-wife. Apparently, they're battling it out in court. Actually, it's already over and done with. There's reports on each side of Johnny Depp's spousal abuse. So Warner Brothers basically just told him to step down from his role as Grindelwald. So fans all around have been hoping that Colin Farrell would come back and step in as Mr. Grindelwald, but it's actually, since he's busy filming Batman, it looks like they're landing the role to Mads Mikkelsen, which actually looked pretty interesting when I saw the photo of it. I don't know if you guys looked at it, but I updated the link. Let me see if I can send it.
Let's see. I mean,
Amber Heard can get it.
But what do you think? What do you guys feel about that? I mean, I don't know if you guys saw the movies or anything, but
I thought the movies were fantastic. But I honestly don't think that he played a big enough character for me to really notice or care too much that he's exiting the franchise. I mean, like
in the second one, he
not
did.
the character. The character is a big person, but Johnny Depp himself, to me at least, he wasn't, like that significant. I mean, like they could definitely do with someone. Like, for example, you could have replaced Daniel Radcliffe, right? But you can probably replace Johnny Depp in this series because he hasn't been there long enough for me to really, yeah.
And that's what they're going for.
I mean, I know Johnny Depp has been going through a lot of issues for the past 2 years, and I'm mistaken, with a lot of issues with his marital stuff, and it's infecting a lot of his work. So that sucks that's happening to him. I mean, Johnny Depp hasn't really been that much relevant in the movie industry for quite a while. I haven't seen anything recently that he's done that's been like, wow. So, I mean, carry on.
He played Donald Trump. It's pretty good, actually. Pretty damn good. Have you guys seen that?
No.
Like, the makeup is like really good.
Sounds great.
Alrighty. So, man, what else got going on?
On my next one, and I hate to say this because as a Disney fan, this kind of hurts my feelings. They are redoing a Lilo and Stitch live action.
No,
I don't know how you guys feel about that.
No, they're not.
It's there.
I agree with Ross.
No,
Yeah,
I don't think you know what you're talking about. What's the next topic? Let's go ahead and skip that one.
Chris
All right, we'll skip that one. Chris Pratt is returning as our
Sith Lord, right?
favorite, as our favorite Star Lord for the new Thor: Lord of Thunder, that is supposed to be eyeing their release date for February 11th, 2021. Don't know if it's happening, but that's what they're aiming for.
Give me the Thor Star Lord buddy cop movie. That's all I want.
Hopefully you get it.
Oh yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, it would be. It'd be amazing. I have amazing ideas.
What? Give me your ideas. Come on, share them with the audience.
I just did. I'll give it to you one more time. Thor and Star-Lord in a buddy cop movie, okay? And we have to have either, you know what? They could hire Martin to play the police chief.
I was
So
gonna
he could be
be
the chief for a change.
would you want to have like a cop out or rush hour type of movie?
No, I
Bad
want like
boys.
Lethal Weapon in fucking space with superpowers. Okay, I want Murtaugh and fucking Riggs. Okay, as the god of thunder and fucking jack
Star-Lord.
off with a cassette player. Make that happen for me.
Dance off.
That's all I want. That's all I want.
Just want to dance off?
Call it, friggin' Star-Lord and Thor, more lethal a weapon. I don't care what you call it. All right. I'm not titling this movie. I'm just telling you what I want it to be.
Okay, fine. Then that's what we want. Let's give it to Ross. Marvel Studios, if you're listening, Kappa movie, Thor and Star-Lord. Make it happen. Pretty sure they're not gonna listen to it, but you know what? They hopefully maybe one day they'll listen. Speed 3 could happen. What? Really? Again?
Yeah, are we gonna? You guys into another Speed movie?
Who?
Ross is like just not really enjoying any of these movies that we're talking about. No,
That's
you
why I
want
brought
to
him up.
want to see Keanu Reeves again and Speed?
Do
What are the
another
chances
keep
of
it above
Keanu
60?
Reeves and Sandra Bullock coming back to that? What are the chances? Come on.
I'm really small at this point. That's why they said that
Yeah.
it might happen if the original director can actually keep control of everything. But who knows how it's like one of those. It may happen if everybody's available to do it and I can have my way, but I don't think it's going to happen. To be honest,
Exactly.
I just want to
And-
put it out there. It's great.
Here. I got a headline for you that it'll actually offset that Speed headline. There you go. Enjoy that.
Constant.
Constantine
Yes, Constantine.
2,
Oh, I'm all about that.
starring
I'm
Shia
all about
LaBeouf.
that. As who?
As John Constantine.
So yes, I am looking forward to actually seeing this. I enjoyed Constantine 1, so I'm pretty excited. It looks cool. I guess we can do its thing while it's in production.
We
Netflix
can agree on that one.
is Space Force has been renewed for another season, so that's another Netflix show. That's
Tell me about that, man.
So I put this on there for Mr. Flex there because we were talking about that when it first initially came out.
It's his favorite show, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
apparently it's his favorite show. So Netflix they greenlighted the second season. They're aiming for sometime in 2021. It doesn't really mention anything else. Cast members look like they remain the same. That's pretty much it.
Just part 2. Hopefully, I wonder how they're gonna cover it with the new government coming in and how they're gonna touch bases on that. That they did a lot of puns on the first season with the current government and current House representatives. So that was quite
If
funny.
they tie it into that and like right into the election stuff, that's gonna be crazy.
That would be
That would
fun
be nice.
to watch.
Damn. That'd be wonderfully topical. But they have to wait. They have to wait how it plays out. They got to see how it plays out. They got to see how it plays out.
Well, it's been renewed, so they can now write the script and get the story ready. So they have a lot of content and a lot of stuff to pick up from. So that's that on that. So the next thing we're going to be talking about is the review of episode 9, 10, and 11 of The Mandalorian.
Yes.
So I want to say this is going to be spoilers, so we're going to be discussing a show, and I know the group has been crapping on me literally every single time I complain about an episode and stuff like that. Even though I'm enjoying it, they crap on me. So we're gonna begin with episode. You guys already seen episode 9. You guys already heard my take. You heard everybody's take here on what we felt about episode 9. How do we feel about episode 10?
Chapter 9.
Chapter 10. So
I liked it.
You liked it?
I want to start out by saying that Bryce Dallas Howard can get it. She's one of my favorites. It was. I really liked the feel of the environment for that episode. That's probably one of my favorite things from chapter 10 and Bryce Dallas Howard.
Okay.
It was nice seeing Bo-Katan, man.
Okay.
Wasn't that 11?
Yeah, we're talking about.
Wait, was that 11? Oh shit! Yeah, wow.
Yeah, we're
It's
talking
because
about
I'm sorry.
I'm not saying anything. I'm just gonna keep quiet.
Go ahead, man. 10. Talk to me.
I rather enjoyed 9, 10, and 11. Especially 11. 10 was whatever for me. I think it made up for Baby Yoda's like lack of interaction in chapter 9, and he was more I guess engaged in chapter 10 as far as just eating everything. But yeah, I mean, I rather enjoyed it. I want to see where they're going as far as where they went with in chapter 11 after I spoiled.
Stick with 10 first. Let's stick with 10.
Okay.
How was you feeling? Did you like it or not like it?
I liked it. It felt like a semi filler episode. It was just there for meaningful first. That's it.
Ross?
I thought 10 sucked.
Okay.
I thought it was a shitty, like he said, it was a filler episode. This show doesn't have a lot of episodes. This is a very short season series. We don't have the luxury of, a 57 episode arc where Goku gets to charge up the spirit bomb for 6 episodes. we need some story movement. And especially with episode 1 of season 2, starting with a very light application of the grand story arc, where it was really mostly callbacks to the previous series and movies, and reminding you that, hey, this is the world that the Mandalorian is set in, but we're not really going to touch on the main core storyline. Shifting immediately to the next episode where there is no traction whatsoever on the overall arc of the series, I don't know, it just felt really jarring. Like I said, we don't have a lot of time to play. And that was a whole episode where there wasn't any character progression or growth. All we got to see was that Baby Yoda still likes to eat amphibians. That hasn't changed from season 1. It's his thing.
He had a spider too.
Episode 10 to me
spiders
was catered to the child fans. I think that the episode was nice to see a new environment that I know we've seen Ice World already in the new movies, but seeing this was really nice. I enjoyed it, but it wasn't something that I will like to have had on this season. The only thing is that I feel like, and I'll give my final take. I just feel like that episode was catered just to a specific fan, just to see the child. That's pretty much all. I felt like they covered a lot more of the child than the actual. They could have just skipped that, gone straight to that planet, and chapter 11. Done deal. Having them break down there felt forced. It felt really forced. So it is what it is with that. Now, chapter 11, we're gonna go ahead now, switch over to Ross first, and then we go from Ross. So go ahead, Ross. How do you feel about chapter 11?
I thought 11 was a lot better. We got back on track with, the main storyline. It was fun seeing more representation of, species that we enjoy from the Star Wars universe. The Mon Calamari was really nice to see. The Quarren, where you don't usually see more than one in any given movie. Yeah. You got to see a lot of them, even though they all turned out to be kind of like dicks. It was interesting to see them populating a water planet. Seeing the callbacks, the literal representation of Bo-Katan in this series was fun. Played by Katie Sackhoff.
Loved it. It was good. I loved it.
That was awesome. hopefully we get more. Honestly, I know this is going to be a really awful thing I'm going to say that people aren't going to be happy about, but just give me a Bo-Katan series. I would happily watch their adventures as she tries to retake Mandalore. That is something I like.
Also Smash.
I don't know, man. I've lost a lot of interest with The Mandalorian just because it's been really trudging along when it comes to the story. It hasn't had really explosive, changes into the grand narrative. So hopefully it picks up. But I mean, them disappearing means we probably won't see them until the very end of this season. And we have next episode to look forward to where we get to see, Ahsoka Tano.
Hopefully.
All right. I
man,
mean, well, I ruined it for you guys, so I feel bad about that.
Thanks.
I saw it before you ruined it, so you ruined it for the other two guys, not for me. And Vibe probably too.
But I want to see. I mean, I don't know how I want to verb this. I want to see them kind of dive into more of the whole the Mandalore and the Watcher portion of it, where you see Mando's reaction to everybody else taking their helmets off, and he's like, "Who the hell are you people? Like, where'd you get the armor from? You're not Mandalorians. You're fake." And she's like, "No, you guys are just on a whole nother level." I want to see them kind of like dive into that a little bit more.
Like address the fundamentalism of his
of why he believes that his beliefs, and they're just like, no, we were actually born from them, Mandalore, and you're following a whole different other religion, whatever. I kind of want to see them dive into that. I definitely want to see a little bit more with Baby Yoda. I don't want to see him eating everything. It's a little like, okay, yeah, the kid's hungry, but I don't, I kind of want to see a little bit more character development on him. Like, why is his species, or why is he the only one left in his species, allegedly, so strong with the Force? Because you don't see anything with the Force this time around so far. So where's it? I mean, not to say that these episodes were horrible, but it still leaves a little questions out there.
I want to comment on something you said there. I think we should all temper our expectations when it comes to that, because I don't think we're going to get any information or character progression when it comes to Baby Yoda, only because in theory his species is so long-lived that his childhood is supposed to last almost 100 years. So at best, he's going to just stay a baby for the entire series until he's handed off to, what was the name of female Yoda? Yaddle? Yaddle. There we go.
All right, my take on chapter 11. I enjoyed the hell out of that episode compared to number 9 and number 10. This episode was exactly what I was expecting for a Mandalorian show. It touched on the Mandalorian itself. It did not bring back things from movies and that I did not want to see. This is what I enjoyed about this episode a lot. It made me forget about a few of the canons from chapter 9. And yeah, I enjoyed that episode a lot. I really, really enjoyed it, seeing some of the why. What the hell is he doing? So yeah, I enjoyed the hell out of that show. I really enjoyed it. I know we're not going to see much of Baby Yoda. I think we're just going to see more. I want him to explore more into the Mandalorian itself and explore more, and not really focus on trying to explore and bring back characters just because they want to please the fan base. That's where I have the problem with the first episode, as I stated. So I felt like chapter 11 got back on track. So hopefully they continue on and they can just touch base with that again at the last episode, where I can just be like, okay, good. Just give me a little bit of that, not too much. Darflex?
I want to see more violence. I want to see Ezra Bridger, and I want to see some space battles.
Okay.
That's
Chapter
it.
10
I'm a
was
simple
enough?
man. What was that?
Chapter 10 gave you a little bit of taste with that space battle.
Did it though? I mean,
It was a little bit. It was just a
not
little.
really. It's more like a high-speed chase.
Alrighty.
No.
Or a heist?
Yeah.
Hijacking. How about that? A space hijacking.
Yes.
I mean, Yeah, not the atmosphere hijacking, space, like literally in space. Not just the
Shit, even that's not right. I guess this just counts as a skyjacking. There you go. You're welcome, guys.
All right.
I'm gonna jack it later.
Ooh, yeah, you will.
I enjoyed I'm enjoying Seven so far. How the season 2 is not bad. I usually season 2s tend to be a little bit rough. They're not they peak and then just complete drop and then just makes no sense after that. So far it's doing good. It's doing its thing. It's keeping a balance. So any expectations for next episode? Do you think we're gonna finally see Ahsoka Tano, or what are you guys predicting on the next episode?
Yeah, she'll show up.
Yeah, I think so too.
If he doesn't get attacked again for his Beskar, I believe either I'm hoping for Ahsoka Tano or Ezra.
I do want to say something. When he was getting shot at in the spaceship,
On the ship.
Mhm.
the way those bullets were hitting him felt like he was getting hit by giant rocks. Just the way that he was just taking the hits. I know his armor reflects it, but my question is, how strong are those freaking laser beams? Like, are they really like boulders? Because he was just like literally, it was just rocking him, like constant. I'm like, wait, but his armor's supposed
Let's just assume they're like real bullets.
Okay.
I think that's a pretty good answer.
But if
Well, I mean, they shoot literal matter. They shoot plasma, so it has an impact.
okay.
So, I mean, yeah, that makes sense. He got hit, and you felt the impact.
All righty. Well, that's it, guys. Thank you for tuning in. You can find us on Geek Bros with Zero on Instagram, Twitter, and email us at geekbros@yahoo.com. And you can listen to us in the first place, weebgeekspc.com, and then later throughout the week, you can watch us on youtube.com/Vibrate Studios, where you can see our beautiful faces and you can see Flex blowing kisses to the screen at the last couple minutes of the episode. So if you have any questions, please email us. Let us know what topics you guys want to talk about. If you want to just say, how much you enjoyed Flex shaking his camera constantly, but whatever flows, keep the thing. And that's it for Keeping Up with the Geek Bros podcast. And remember, geeking out still sounds this good.
Keeping up with the Geek Bros.